Hello, I'm Teddy, and today we have Gulliver Returns. This movie starts off with which is basically where it's in the town of Lilliput. It's like an island where there's a city called Lilliput. Like legend, myth. So where there's this man named Gulliver. He's a very big man, like a very tall giant. He's a giant, very big man, very big giant, and he's supposed to save this town from problem. He's supposed to solve all of their problems basically, because the king can't do it himself for some reason. Maybe because he's stupid, maybe, I don't know. And saying, to come to the town or something. And then, he came to the town, that city island, on his ship. And so the people of Lilliput, everyone thought that he was a giant. They kind of at the start of the movie, they saying this song, the Gulliver over and over. It's like Gulliver, 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 Gulliver. It's a song, kind of. It's kind of something like that. And then they have these big doors for him because he's a giant, right? So these big doors. But then once the average looking man, average sized man comes in through those doors, or those big doors that are like 200 times bigger than him. Everyone's like, oh my. He's like, who are you? What are you doing here? He's like, it's Gulliver. He says that he's Gulliver, of course, because he is Gulliver. That's his name. He is. But then the king refuses because he's not a giant. Gulliver is not a giant, so they send him to court. And guess what? Guess who? Also in the court. Guess what? Guess what happens in the court? Okay. No, not really. Not before. Well, they basically say that he's not a giant. The king says that he's not a giant. Put him in jail, but Gulliver's like no. So they go to court to settle. But guess what? Everyone in the court is the king. That's right. Everyone in the court, the judge, everyone, even the executor person, even that's the king. For some reason, all of the jobs are taken by the king. Not all, but most jobs are taken by the king. For some reason, I don't know why. What's the point of having a courtroom if there's no, that ruins the point of, the debate and stuff. That kind of that doesn't make sense. There's, that's not a debate if you're just debating with yourself. And then, some random person, some random woman, no one knows who she is. In this, we don't know, but the person that's watching the film doesn't know, but he just busts into the room, and then, with a mustache, and it goes like, hey, he's actually a giant, he's from Giants, but he's actually a small giant, he's a really small giant, he's actually a giant, but he's an average, an average size. He looks like an average sized man. And then the judge goes like, okay. So Gulliver was put in the jail. Guess what? The guard in the jail is the king. Everyone, it's like everyone in this town is the king. What if everyone in the town is actually the king? What if the only person who lives in the town is just the king? It's just the king he does all the jobs. That'd be funny, but no, there's actually people that work there. And for some reason, all the jobs like for some reason all the jobs that the king, all the jobs that the king, but the king does a lot of jobs for some reason. I don't know how he manages to do stuff, but Gulliver tricks the king into they switch spots. So he tricked the king to switch spots. Not like as the king, but as the guard, of course. You know how he does that? He says, "Well, this is my prison. This is cool. It's cool in here because it's like an apartment. Everything's like right next to everything, and there's the toilet here, and there's the bed, the bed that's very uncomfortable. Table here, you know, like a little like the soup, the food here. It's cool, okay?" And then the king is like, "Oh, it's cool there. So I'm also cool." And then they go to the the king goes to switch spots basically. The lawyer person that busted into the courtroom, which I don't think you can do that. I mean, you probably like you can't like just. I don't think you can just go in there. Like just bust in. I don't think so. I don't know how that works, but they have a conversation, and we find out that the person's name is Marcy, and then they run away from the guards, the other guards, like the actual people, like the soldiers, the guards, the people with the little, I don't know, with the weapons, with the thing. And they go, and then Marcy basically explains everything that happened since the last time he was there. Oh, the last time he was there was actually 4 years ago. Yeah, that's cool. And then he basically, then the king he says, "Well, if you do what I want, if you fix all the problems, I'll let you go, and if not, then I don't know, I'm gonna keep you here or something. I'm gonna put you in jail or something, I don't know." And then Gulliver says yes, because he has no choice, kind of, basically. He kind of has no choice. He can just leave if he wants to, but you know, he decides to stay. And then they meet with Freelock, and you know, guess what happens, okay? Guess what happens? Yeah, Freelock for some reason does not recognize him. And no, but he does. I know, it's very confusing. It's very confusing. Freelock and Gulliver don't know, they don't recognize each other. But it's like, it's been 4 years, so it's not that, it's like, I don't think he didn't change his appearance that much. He's like, "Whoa, you're not a giant. You're not a giant. You're not real Gulliver. You're not Gulliver. You're not Gulliver." And he just sings this, and Gulliver sings this song that they both used to sing. And he's like, "Oh, you are the real Gulliver." Well, he's like, "You're not a giant." He said that he didn't. It's very confusing. He knows that he recognizes him, but he says that he's not. He says that he's like not real. I think it's that just the king doesn't want anyone to say that he's not a giant for some reason. But he literally lives on the edge of the island, so no one is there. No one is there except for his dog and his daughter, which is Marcy. Guess what? And also, it reveals, guess what? Marcy was the one that sent the letter, not Freelock. And Freelock was actually just chilling. true. It's true. It's really hard to take in, but it's true. And then Gulliver just fixes all the problems. The water problem, he just blows up the thing and makes the waterfall go. Like, there's this wall that blocks up the waterfall, and he like blows it up. They could have just done that themselves. The king could have just sent a person up there to just blow stuff up. I mean, it's not that hard. And then they put like they reinforce the walls or something. And then there's this man called Blefuscu. Very interesting name. And he wants to take over this island, the island of Lilliput, the town. And he says, we're gonna... He basically just gets a ton of troops. And then the general says, well, where's Gulliver? Show me Gulliver. Huh? And then Freelock says, yes. No, I mean, I'm not showing you Gulliver because, yeah. And then he says, you know what? And then they think because they have a giant army. The general and the Blefuscu army is big and strong. And Gulliver is not. Of course, he's not like really powerful, and plus the other soldiers, troops that are in the city most of them have just run away because they're scared. Yes, that happened. And the troops the small amount of troops that are left, probably like 50, I don't know, are just it's not gonna work, okay? So then the Freelock says, you know what? Let's have a duel, 1-to-1, Gulliver and Mr. General here, and then if we win, if the person who wins gets Lilliput, basically, and then that's what happens. But then guess what? Of course, Gulliver wins, and this part's really stupid. No, they have a duel, but like the general agrees to have the duel, of course, and they have Gulliver wins, and then this part is really stupid. The general, he lost because he kind of like backed out because Gulliver's really strong and he basically, yeah, and he got his little dumb mech suit. I don't know what it's called, this mech suit thing, and started to boom. But it's really small mech suit. I don't know why it's so small. It's not small, it's pretty large. General in the mech suit does stuff. He's like, I don't know, like trying to like punch or I don't know, destroy Gulliver. And they do this weird thing. Like, it's really hard to explain, but it's very confusing at the same time. So there's I think it was like Friday or something in like the film, every like certain amount of day, every like week, every day there's a day every week where there's every single season in one day, and just speed runs the seasons. Like, they put Gulliver on this top of, there's this mountain, like this cliff thing, and the general was down here, and they put Gulliver up here, and it was going through all the seasons because this is one of the day, and it started to rain, and started to lightning, and then the Gulliver said, I'm gonna make it rain, and then it starts raining, then there's lightning, and then the guy in the mech suit, the rain made the mech suit go away. I think he tried to make him make him look like very higher up, so that the general, when he looks at him, it looks like he's bigger than he actually is. And then for some reason all of the soldiers, all the troops that were the generals, run away because they're scared of the rain. They're scared of the lightning, scared of the rain, scared of the optical illusion that Gulliver made, that made him look bigger, like at an angle or something. And all the troops run away, and then the rain destroys, and rain destroys the mech suit, and then they're like, oh, the king congratulates Gulliver for destroying the whole army, the Blefuscu army. And then Marcy and Gulliver kiss for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know, Marcy and Gulliver like live happy ever after or something and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of like the point of this kind of thing of the story. So, do I like this movie? I don't really like some characters are animated, not weirdly animated, but it's not very pleasant to look at. It has a very large head and like a really small body, and it's weird. Okay. But I feel like what I don't like is that all the troops ran away. All of the troops ran away, and if they were well trained, they had 500 troops, maybe like 1,000. In the movie they had I think it was 10,000 troops or something, and there was probably 150 troops on the Lilliput side, and they could have literally they didn't have to do basically anything. They could have just said no. If the general said no, and then they just attacked, they would surrender in that exact second. I'm just saying. They would most likely surrender, or if they don't surrender, it's not a problem. They can just walk into there. They can just basically walk into the island and just take it. So the king, this is the king. There's Gulliver. This is Squeak, which is his companion. And this is Marcy. And this is the dog. This is Freelock. And then these are the troop people, the people that do the thing, the troop people. Oh, I just realized they made them big. They made all of these people small because Gulliver is supposedly a giant, so it's he's big, but these people are very small. So yeah, don't forget to like the video if you want to. Don't forget to subscribe, and bye.